I'm looking at you. Not to complain. You're not just noticing the error. I hate to do that on tape. I did that. Hopefully you can see my room because I know I ain't been up. I know y'all did. But anyway, it's not that you're noticing just the flaws. Oh, you can't go out like that, honey. You can't do that, honey. You know, you don't want to just study the flaws. You want to take time to study her, especially her. It does a lot of good when a man takes time to study you as his wife and say, well, baby, you look nice today. You know, look up and down, you look nice, baby. You look good. Amen. And then when you're married, learn to deal with the flaws. You know, if he has a problem with my girlfriend, say, who his breath was so bad, Nay, but I pressed start kissing him. She loved him. And she tongued him anyway. She loved him. She said, I love that black man, though. As she said, I loved him. I said, but he had halitosis. I couldn't stand him. He had halitosis. I didn't know if it was the coffee or cigarettes, but he had halitosis. She said, but I loved him so, baby, I would kiss him like he ain't had nothing on him. And that's what love would do. Love covers a multitude of sin and fault. Amen. So, but when you're dating, you want to take some time out. That's the introduction. That's the presentation. And then you can turn around and start the car. And then, keep the conversation. Amen. You don't want to overbear. You don't want to talk too much. Amen. You don't want to, some women, you don't want to be bored. Amen. But you want to be able to be humbled enough to feel the atmosphere. What is the atmosphere telling you? Amen. And if there's an icebreaker that's needed, you want to break the ice, And as women, sometimes you sit there and allow him to break the ice. Amen. And then sometimes he's shy. He's a good man, but he's shy. And so you arrive to your destination. And women, you may want to sit there a little bit and observe whether or not he wants to come over to the car. Or whether he wants to sit there a little while and conversate whatnot. Because no, you can conversate at the table. You don't want to do too much in the car. You don't want to do too much, but you still want to not be rushing, because that's also telling you something. Amen. It could be a sign of something. And so once he gets out the car, now you don't even want nobody anxious. He's anxious. What is he anxious for? What's going on? Is he, lacking? He's low self-esteem. You don't think he can get any other women. Amen. And so you want to look at that. You don't want to be anxious. And so you want to also hesitate to see if he's going to come over. Because, we know this 2012 man, they don't open up doors anymore. And sometimes it's because 2012 women don't want them to. We're ready to jump out the car and hurry up too. You want to just hesitate. Amen. And see, now that's also giving him a sign you want that door open. Amen. That's part of being a lady. If he feels like you want to be catered to, oh, she just a user spirit. Here she go. She wants me to open up the door for her. She's just trying to use me. I know what she wants. She gonna want me to do everything for her. That ain't no good man. That's really bad when he thinks like that. You don't feel bad if he feels like that. Well, I'm going to get out because I don't want him to feel like I'm not independent. I want him to know that I can take care of myself. No, you want to sit there because it's part of being a lady. You want him to know I want you to take over. What you're telling him, I want you to lead me. Amen. Come around here and open up the door because, see, I might get out the wrong way. Amen. Come and open up the door. That's a sign of him leading. Amen. Amen. There's nothing wrong with it. And when he opened up the door, he's saying, okay, welcome. You can come on. And then you allow him. You stay right there at the open door. You step to the side so he can close it. Amen. Let him close the door. That's when you have a gentleman. And then when he closes the door, then you both can take off walking together. Sometimes he will lead out walking. But gradually you end up side by side. And so you're walking in. Amen. And you still wait. You step to the side. That means open up the door for me. And it's not aggressive. It's really not aggressive. Amen. And that's just in a relationship. And so once you get in and you sit at the table, and there are times, y'all, where that's just part of the relationship. Pull out. It's nothing wrong. Pull out the chair for her. Amen. Pull it out. That shows that you're still a good man. I don't care if you don't always do it because there's nobody there to pull a chair out for. But it's part of good habits. You're building good habits, brothers. You're building good habits. Pull out the table for her. I mean, not the table, but pull out the chair for her. Amen. And then let her scoot, barely scoot. You got to know these things, Amen. Because presentation is always important, and that's part of the presentation, and that's part of the introduction, and that's the nonverbal communication. You're still communicating. It tells a lot about a person, even if it's not part of your everyday life, what you do on a date. Now, that's a date that matters to you. So women, when a date don't matter, he's saying, okay, come on, let's go and get to eat because that's all I'm going to pay for this. I ain't paying nothing else for this sex. And so in other words, he's calling you a whore. Amen. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. I ain't going to pay no more. I ain't going to do nothing extra. Amen. So this is teaching. This is good teaching. And some folks, women, also know this. Some folks don't have this teaching, so it's not always. So just because he don't open up the door, okay, that's still telling you something. It's telling you he doesn't have teaching. Amen. His teaching hadn't been there. And so you're going to have to expect some things. That's not to say he cannot please you in the bedroom. It's not to say that he's lazy. It's not to say he's not going to pay the bills. Amen. So that's where you may have to be in that. That's not to say that just because he hadn't been taught, it's not to say he's a bad man. Or it's to say he's a bad man. It's not to say that he's not a good man. Okay? All not to say it's getting all confusing up in here, but we still talking. Amen. And so now you at the dinner table or the breakfast table, whatever it may be. And so his first sign is probably to try to call the waiter over because he don't want you to wait. That's what you want to look at first too. Is he trying to get some attention or some service, because he wants you to be able to eat. That's what a man do. He wants you to have your way. He wants you. That's what it is. He wants you to have your way. So he pulls, and the waiter say, just a moment. He let him know we're here. If anyone's around, at least he'll try to look around, and that's what a man will do. He'll look around and see if there's a waiter present because he don't want you to wait, and so he focused back on you. Now we have our attention. We don't have to wait on if you can get the waiter to come in the beginning, you don't have to worry about him coming to cut you out until it's time to eat. Amen. Because one thing I can't stand when you're trying to get to know somebody for somebody running back and forth, and that's customer service. They're doing their job. But, every so many minutes you want to make sure you're there. Because you're not really there to entertain. You're not supposed to be there. The establishment is not looking at you entertaining. They're looking at them doing business. So they know their business is to do customer service. I want to make sure you have everything, too, as a customer. Because that's still relationship building. Relationship building is always building. It's always in communication. And relationship building, so he's going to come over to the table. And he may be taught to come over to the table, maybe depending on the restaurant. Amen. And so even in building relationship with the customer, he has to know what's going on at his table. If he see a relationship, and see, I'm talking to some of y'all that's at work in this restaurant. You see a relationship, whether it's business or intimate, you got to know how to time it. Amen. Because they will use your restaurant for that. And you want some time to have business done for whatever reason. You want them to come into your establishment. And so you have to know how to mirror your customer. Just like you do in your relationship. You're getting an understanding. That's what you're doing. And so that's relationship building too. So at the same time, you have to understand there's two types of relationship building working here. You trying to figure out you're going to get you a wife or whatever, relationship established. And then at the same time, they're doing business and they are trying to get a relationship established too. They're trying to get your business. Amen. Amen. And so now we're here at the table. And that is the introduction. Amen. So we're talking about the body. And the body is actually the service you're giving at the table. It's not so much as you always buttering this tape and all. That's not it. You're mirroring him. You're saying, okay, what's going to please him at the same time, And then again, like I said, it's being yourself. Amen. And so you have to accept some rejection. It's not that when you're rejected, or maybe when you don't get to the second date, it's not that you're not good. It's that one is not for you. Exactly, because there's desire. Remember, we talked about desire. Different men desire different things. And so if you're yourself with a little twitching, see, a good man's going to know that, oh, that's just a little twitching. That's minor. That's not major. That's minor. Amen. A man that is selfish, he's going to want you to be what he wants exactly to the T. That's not what I wanted, so I ain't going to go back out with her. All you want to do is keep the enthusiasm in the conversation. That's all. You're not trying to actually grasp him in the beginning. You're trying to keep the communication going. You're trying to keep the enthusiasm and the excitement in the relationship and try to prevent the boredom. But you don't want to be aggressive and you don't want to appear anxious. That's the main thing in the relationship. Keep him from appearing anxious. Amen. Amen. And so now that's the first date. And you've gone through to where it's just like the first day of class. You're just getting to know one another. If you've ever gone to a class, all you're doing is introducing each other. Still the introduction. Amen. But you have to make it exciting enough because they're looking for a little taste of what's coming. Amen. You got to go a little bit into the lesson. Amen. You're in the classroom. You got to go a little bit into the lesson. What you're going to learn. You're out there. What is your goal? Where are we going? We're trying to get a relationship. So you have to put a little bit into it, and that's part of the close. Amen. You're getting ready to close the deal here.